So it might be that you feel your breath quite high up, right underneath your collarbone. So if you're feeling your breath right underneath your collarbones, just notice that. That might be because you were dashing about, being busy and coming into your sitting position. So you might notice that you've got quite rapid, shallow breathing. Be aware of it and let the breath soften, let it slow, take it down to the mid part of the lungs. And the mid part of the lungs is really the bit behind your sternum, your chest bone. So notice that as you breathe in, you can feel the movement of your ribs towards your upper arms, and then away again as you breathe out. So take your focus there for 2 or 3 in and out breaths. And then take your focus to the front of your chest, to your sternum, your chest bone, right at the front. And as you breathe in and out, notice the front of your chest lifting and moving forwards a little bit. And as you breathe out, it settles back down. So again, it's not actually a very big movement, but once you take your focus there, like you're directing the breath right to the front of the chest, you get a little bit of forward and upward movement with the breath. Couple of in and out breaths there. And then take your awareness to your upper back. And as you breathe in and out, notice you can feel that expansion across your upper back. And again, we can quite deliberately take our focus there and feel that expansion. Super. After 2 or 3 of those, then take your in-breath all the way down to your abdomen. We know we don't breathe into the abdomen, but let's imagine that we do, and soften all the tummy muscles. And as you breathe in, your abdomen inflates like a balloon, and as you breathe out, the abdomen softens and becomes a little bit smaller again. Breathing in, feel that balloon sensation. Breathing out, the balloon becomes a little bit smaller. Slowing the breath. Super. So next in breath, take your breath down to your abdomen, then into the mid part of your lungs, and then to that bit just under your collarbones. Then as you breathe out, empty from the bottom, your abdomen, then your ribs, and then the top underneath your collarbone. So breathe in, bottom, middle, top. Breathe out, bottom, middle, top. And to assist a little bit with your out breath, next time you breathe out, draw your tummy muscles back towards the back of your pelvis. Release those muscles and breathe in, bottom, middle, top. As you breathe out, draw your tummy muscles towards the back of your pelvis a little. And breathe out, bottom, middle, top. So when we use the muscles to assist the out breath, the breath begins to get a little bit stronger. So breathing in, bottom, middle, top. Breathing out using the abdominal muscles. Breathing out, bottom, middle, top. As you breathe out, draw abdominal muscles towards the back of the pelvis and then lift them up a little bit, like you're trying to tuck your tummy muscles under your ribs. Release, breathe in, bottom, middle, top. Breathe out, bottom, middle, top, using abdominal muscles. drawing them backwards and up. Release those muscles, ready for your in-breath. Next time you breathe out, draw your abdominal muscles back and up, and as you take them up, lift up on your pelvic floor a little. At the end of your out breath, notice there's that little moment in time. Release the muscles and then breathe in. At the end of your in breath, there's a little moment in time. You start to engage the muscles in your abdomen, taking them back and up and lifting up on the pelvic floor a little. Breathing in for a count of 2, breathing out for a count of 4. So it's a rhythmical kind of metronome-like count. So you're breathing in for 2 and out for 4. If in your mind your in-breath lasts for about a 3, then breathe out for 6. If it lasts for about 4, then breathe out for 8. Doesn't really matter what that count is. What we're doing is extending the out breath. So you gently use the abdominal muscles, the pelvic floor muscles to slow down the journey of the out breath. Release those muscles and breathe in. So this is a great stage to stay at. We can add a hold if you want to. So breathing in for 2, holding your in-breath for 2, breathing out for 4. Just know that this isn't recommended if you think or you are pregnant. We don't hold the breath. So stay with counting the in and out breath, lengthening the out breath absolutely fine, but not holding if you think you're pregnant. So breathing in for 2, holding the in-breath for 2, breathing out for 4. All of those other little cues that are in there, we're continuing to breathe in, bottom, middle, top, breathing out, bottom, middle, top. Continuing with the out breath to use the abdominal muscles, pelvic floor muscles. Another great stage to stay at, this one that you're at. If you want to, you can breathe in for 2, hold your in-breath for 2, breathe out for 4, hold your out-breath for 4. Or any of the previous stages that feel right for you, and that could be around mind agitation, comfort in the body, tiredness, anything at all might not be the thing for you tonight. Without rushing to the end, making the round that you're doing now your last one, finishing with your held out breath. Staying in your sitting position for 2 or 3 easy in and out breaths, noticing how your body feels, and when you're ready to, gently easing yourself to cat. Coming onto your hands and your knees when you're ready. Know that we're all at different stages and it's absolutely fine to just come and move in cat when you're ready to. So cat's a great way to carry on a little bit that breathing practice as well. So that you breathe in and release those abdominal muscles and get a lovely stretch down the front of the body. As you breathe out and you look at your knees or up towards your tummy button, you can use your pelvic floor, your abdominal muscles with your out breath, and then you can be in that tiny moment, that little pause, a little gap between the out breath and the in breath, with your muscles held, and then release them and breathe in. So another way to get your 3-part breathing is by working in cat. Super. After your next in-breath, when you're looking up, tuck your toes under. As you breathe out, look at your knees, sweep your bottom backwards and up into the air to dog. When you get up into dog, have your knees quite bent. Tilt your pelvis like you do in cat when you're breathing in, trying to stick your little tail up to the ceiling. Tilt your pelvis, push your hands into the mat, and you get this lovely line down your back. Knees are bent. I know everybody wants to straighten their knees in dog, their legs, but you keep them a little bit bent, you get more movement into your pelvis to take your little tail up to the ceiling. You're lifting it up and you're taking it backwards. Push your hands into the mat, then lower one heel to the floor and lift it up again, and then lower the other heel to the floor and lift it up again. So the only thing that's happening is the heel is lowering to the floor one side at a time. The pelvis isn't swinging around in space, and we get to feel what's happening in the back of the leg and noticing. Easing yourself back down onto your knees. So some of you will know what I'm talking about. If you've not been on a Wednesday or the Saturday mornings for a little bit, I'm just going to show you. We're going to work a little bit with wrists because I know this is what everybody loves. So we're doing a little bit more. I can see people chuckling with this one. So what you're going to do is lift the heel of the hand away and then place it back down. Okay. So from a different angle, it looks like this thumb doesn't ever quite know what to do. If you hold it up in the air and keep it tight, it's going to hurt. So it comes down and rests, the thumbprint rests. Don't take it behind like a kind of chicken foot, because all the pressure's in that thumb joint and that hurts. So just at the side, and you're lifting the heel of the hand. So the way we're going to make it work is that you're going to come to cat, you're going to take your bottom pretty much back towards your feet, and then lift the heel of one hand and pop it back down, lift the heel of the other hand, pop it back down, and walk the heels of your hands up and down. This gets us to recognise that this is anatomically possible. It doesn't matter how big the lift is, it really doesn't matter. But walk the wrists up and down to see, and then see what it feels like to hold them. And this is one stage to stay at, because this is strong if the palms of your hands are tight. Breathe in, keep your heels of your hands lifted, breathe in and come forwards to wherever it feels okay to support yourself.
Breathe out, take your bottom backwards. Heels of the hands are lifted, breathe in, come forwards, breathe out, take your bottom back and explore. Push the index finger side of your hand into the mat and you can come forwards to wherever feels right for you. And wherever that forward move is, and it doesn't matter, it could be here, 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 wherever it is, come to that position and hold. Back of the neck long, so your nose is facing the floor, crown of the head reaching forward, breathing. Heels of the hands lifted, be careful with your thumbs. And with an out breath, take your bottom all the way back. Bring the heels of your hand down, feather-like touch. Push the index side of your hands into the mat, come forward. Keep the heels of the hands down, a little bit of lightness. And hold in cat. So if this is really strong, you stay here. You're still working at pushing the index finger down into the mat and keeping lightness into the heel of the hand. If you want to take it a little bit further, tuck your toes under and just hover your knees from the floor. Pull your tummy button up to your spine. Keep the back of your neck long. Breathe. Lift up out of your hands, keep the lightness in the heels of your hands. Push the index finger side of your hands into the floor. Breathe. Bring your knees down. Untuck your toes. Take yourself with your bottom back to your heels. And then lift up to the ball of your hand, keep your fingers down, walk one hand and then the other. So knees on the floor is a great place to be with the heels of the hands lifted and coming forwards with the in-breath and backwards with the out-breath. You might reach a little bit further forwards to find your dog position with your hands. My hands are half on, half off, sorry, I need to move. So finding that place for your hands for dog. Walk the heels of the hands again, anatomically possible to lift. Come up, tuck your toes under. Go back to dog, keep your knees a little bit bent, look at your big toes. Lift the heel of the right hand and put it back down. Lift the heel of the left hand, put it back down. Lift the heel of the right hand, put it back down. Lift the heel of the left hand, pop it back down. Lift the heel of the right hand and hold. Lift the heel of the left hand and hold. Know you can do this from cat. It's absolutely fine. You work to the right stage to where your wrists are happy to be. If you're still in dog, gently lower the heels of the hands down. If you're in cat, heels are down, you can come up to dog. If you're in dog, stay in dog. Heels of the hands are down, keep a little bit of lightness in the heel of the hand. Walk your hands to your feet to your hands. Bend your knees deeply and bring the backs of your hands to the floor. So you've got your knees bent deeply, you've got the backs of your hands onto the floor to take your wrists in the opposite direction. Fantastic. So lift the head and the chest, bring the hands to the waist, keep the knees bent, lift the head and the chest, lift the head and the chest, work your back to the upright and keep your knees as bent as you can for as long as you can, bringing your body to the upright. When it's there, power your legs straight.
Super. So come to your mountain pose. Have your hands on your waist. Your feet in your comfy Tadasana position. Just roll your shoulders forwards and upwards and backwards and down. Breathe in with an out breath, a gentle side stretch to the right. Brilliant. So check that your right shoulder is soft and that you haven't got lots of weight into your right hand. So this isn't propping you up. It's a light hold on the waist. Left arm, dangle it down by your side, rotate the arm out, palms face away. Lift the arm up with an in-breath away behind you and up. Reach with your in-breath and with your out-breath, lower the arm towards the ear. So pushing the outside edge of your left foot into the floor, reaching over to the right with your left arm. Breathing. Tuck your chin in towards your chest. And turn your gaze towards your upper arm, your left arm, breathing. Fantastic. Turn your left palm to face the ceiling. Breathe in, push the ceiling up. Breathe out, bring the arm down, hands back to your waist. Breathe in, tall. Lovely, and then breathe out, gently lean to the left. Check you've not got all the pressure into that hand, shoulder is soft. Right arm dangles, turn the palm so it faces away. Breathe in, lift up, reach. Breathe out, sway, holding it here. Find that place where it's okay, you've not got body weight into that hand. You can still breathe, that's a really important part. Brilliant. Pushing the outside edge of your right foot into the floor, reaching a little bit to the left with your arm that's up in the air. Breathing, tuck your chin in, turn and look to that upper arm. Fantastic. Turn your right palm to face the ceiling. Breathe in, push the ceiling up. Breathe out, bring the arm down. So let's roll the shoulders forwards, upwards, backwards and down. And turning sideways slightly. What you want to do now is just tilt your pelvis like you're tucking your tail underneath, and then you can bring your pubic bone forward slightly. The weight in your feet is in the balls of your feet. Rolling your shoulders up and back and down and coming into a little bit of an upper back arch. Keep tucking your tail, is going to lengthen your lower back, it's going to stop nipping. And you can roll your shoulders up and back and down however many times you want to look up if you want to. So the aim isn't to go miles and miles backwards. The aim is to find a place where you can have an upper back bend without any nipping in your lower back, and it's controlled. If you're a happy back bender, you could bring your hands onto the back of your pelvis. They could be somewhere on your glute muscles, back of the thighs. But make sure whatever you're doing, you're controlling this action. Imagine you're trying to jump over the high bar of the high jump. That's the kind of action that you're after. Okay? So working, keep tucking the tail under. You can take the gaze up to the ceiling if you want to. Brilliant. So to come out, bring your chin to your chest. You're looking forwards. And then bring your body gently to the upright.
If you have your hands just at the back of your waist, just slightly at the back of the waist, so you can bring your elbows in towards one another, you're standing in mountain pose, and you're going to fold forwards to a half forward bend. And notice when you fold forwards to a half forward bend, there's a point at which you can feel the back of your waist levelling out. And then it starts to curve forwards. When it starts to curve forwards and it's no longer flat, you bend your knees to bring yourself down. And you keep bending your knees so you can tilt forwards and keep your lower back straight. Your chest and your gaze is lifted. Keep your hands where they are. Keep your knees really bent. Bring your body to the upright. Notice as you bring your body to the upright, you can feel your lower back finding that little curve again as the body comes to the upright. And then push your legs straight. So what we're after doing is noticing that when we're standing upright, we have a little curve in the lower back. If we come to a ragged old forward bend, we've just got a big forward bend in the lower back, so it stretches out, and that's not necessarily great for the back, okay? So we want to come into a forward bend, keeping this part of the back safe. So find your block, find your tissue box, your shoe box, your placemat, whatever it is that you have. I'll just show you how this works. I think most people have seen this before, but just in case you haven't, what we're doing, you want the block close to your feet, not miles away. You're going to have your hands so you feel the curve. You're going to come into your forward bend, so just watch for a sec, come into your forward bend, knees are really deeply bent. You take the block, you angle it away, you walk it to the upright. So option 1, head between the arms, looking at your big toes. Option 2, keep your chest and the gaze lifted. This is stronger. There are 2 options. From here we're working at taking the tail away behind us and lifting, but we're keeping body-thigh contact. That's the most important part of it. So it doesn't matter that your legs don't go straight, because they're not going to, okay? So we're going to be here. So having the block nearby, put your hands on your lower back, come to your forward bend, bending your knees as you come down to find that place where your knees are bent enough that you've got body-thigh contact. That's the most important part. Then reach for your block and angle it forwards, so you can look down the length of it. Keep your head and chest lifted, or put your ears between your upper arms. Walk your block to the upright. Weight is in the balls of your feet. So number 1, keep body-thigh contact. Number 2, keep the weight in the balls of your feet. Number 3, taking your tail away behind you and upwards. So you're working towards your legs becoming straight, but they're not going to get straight, okay? If you keep your body-thigh contact, they'll not go straight. Keep the weight in the balls of your feet. If they're coming forwards into your toes, take that weight backwards a little bit. Brilliant. I know this kills thighs, so lower your bottom a little bit if it's killing into your thighs. Breathe. Fantastic. So lower your bottom a little bit more. Bring your right hand into the centre of the block and take your left hand to your right ankle. Take your head underneath your arm
and twist into looking up to the ceiling. Keep your knees really bent. Think about lifting up onto the very tips of your fingers on the top of the block. Lightness in the hand. Keep the weight coming down into the balls of your feet and turning underneath to look up towards the ceiling. And then begin to lift your tail up and away behind you and breathe. Keeping that action of turning, slowly lifting your tail, breathing, lowering your bottom, bending your knees, bringing both hands back to the block. Fantastic. And swap sides. So walking the other hand into the centre of the block and taking your right hand across to your left ankle, turning underneath, keeping body-thigh contact. That's the most crucial part. Brilliant. When the body gets tired and you want to come out, then do, and then head back into it. It's very strong on thighs, I know that, but they're really good to get strong thighs and strong hamstrings so that it protects your back. Brilliant. Keep body-thigh contact. Keep yourself low. Don't think you've got to get your legs straight. It's not the aim at all. Enjoy the turning. And then bring yourself back. Both hands onto the block. Lower your bottom. And then bring your hands, your fingertips to the floor ahead of you. Gaze at the space between your fingertips. Keep your body-thigh contact and lift your tail up a little bit. Keep lifting it, keep looking at the space between your fingers. Fantastic. And then bend your knees, walk your hands in towards your feet, bend your knees, come to a squat. Walk your hands forwards, come to cat, have a little easing about in cat. Fantastic. Tuck your toes under, push yourself up to dog. Have an ease about in dog. Walking your heels, one at a time. Super. Walk your hands to your feet to your hands. Bend your knees deeply. Bring your hands to your waist and begin to lift your body to the upright, keeping your knees as bent as you can as you bring your body to the upright. And then power your legs straight. Fantastic. So turn yourself side onto your mat, or turn your mat side on so you can still see the screen and see what it is that you're being asked to do. You need your block close by. Okay, so we're side on and we're going to step wide. Brilliant. Once you've got your feet wide, check the outside edges of your feet are parallel. Bring your hands onto your waist. Bend your knees a little bit and have a little wiggle around. So it's not quite the right time of year, but this is our little strictly practice manoeuvre for a salsa-y type of wiggle. So you're just easing around and noticing that you can feel movement in your ball and socket joint. Okay, so keep the knees quite soft and keep easing around. See, and then bring yourself back up, and notice that you might take your legs slightly, just a fraction wider. Brilliant. So we're going to bend our knees a little bit and then take your knees apart. Lower your bottom, take your knees apart. Brilliant. And find this place here. Take hold of your block. Have your block between your hands. So tiny little bits if you want to. You're going to take your fingers away from the edge of the block. You're going to steeple your wrist and you're going to keep your arms straight. Okay, but you're going to move the wrist. I would go sideways to show you it. So you're moving the wrists apart. All of these tiny little things are just building lots and lots of strength in your arms. Okay? So you're in this position. You've got your knees out to the side. The knees are moving apart. You're going to bring the block up. Brilliant. And you're going to bring the block up a little bit more. And breathe. Squeeze the block. Lower your bottom. Lift your chest, take your knees apart. Lower your bottom, lift the chest, take your knees apart. Lower your bottom, lift the chest, take your knees apart. Breathe. Fold yourself forwards, put the block down. Ease your arms to the inside of your legs and ease your legs apart just a touch. Bring your fingers to the floor and then walk yourself to the right. So pivot your right foot to the right and turn your left foot so your heel goes away behind you. Lower your left knee down and you're into a lunge. So keeping your left toes tucked under, softening your pelvis down towards the floor a little bit. Check that you've got your right knee above your right ankle, not shooting beyond your toes. We're going to lift the left knee about 3 millimeters from the floor by moving the heel away behind us. Tiny action. And then bring the knee down. Fantastic. Push your right foot into the mat. Float your hands. Come up, hands onto the waist. Stay a little bit forward if you feel stuff in your lower back. Think about the crown of the head lifting as you ease your shoulder blades and your shoulders back a little, but without your bottom moving backwards. Okay? Looking forwards, head and chest lifted a little bit, toes are tucked under. Maybe you play about with how it feels to lift your knee of the back leg 3 millimeters from the floor. Push your right foot into the mat, bring the knee down. Fantastic. Take your arms up, breathe. See how it feels to take the heel away behind you of the left foot, lift the knee, 3 millimeters, bring the knee down. Fold forward, straighten the back leg, left leg, wander your feet round to your wide leg forward bend. Bend the knees,
Reach the fingers forwards. Put your head between your upper arms. Reach your fingers forwards. Straighten out your back. Wander your fingers back in and turn the other way. So you're turning to the left side. Left foot's in front. Right knee comes down to the mat. Keep your toes tucked under. Keep your body forwards, hands onto the mat. So checking, your left knee is above your left ankle, right toes are tucked under. Super. Tiny little stages. So we're going to lift the right knee by pushing the right heel away. It's a couple of millimetres. Tiny movement. Knee comes back down. If everything feels okay, lifting the body, hands to the waist. So this is where we think about that upper back bend and lifting the crown of the head up to keep length in the lower back. If you want to, see how it feels, push the heel away, lift the knees a couple of millimetres from the floor, breathe in, lower the knee down. Fantastic. If you want to, you can do that one again. You can do the folded forwards one again. You could have your arms up, push the left foot into the floor, driving the right heel away, a couple of millimetres of that knee floating, not high. Knee comes back down, hands onto the waist, fold forwards, hands down, straighten that back leg, walk your hands back to your wide leg forward bend. Bend your knees, fold your body forwards, walk your hands forwards onto the very tips of your fingers, lower your head between your upper arms, bend your knees, reach your fingers away, bring your hands to your waist and start to lift your upper body, half forward bend, quarter forward bend, keep your knees bent, fantastic. Lifting the body to the upright, fantastic. Bring your body to the upright, keep your knees as bent as you can, and then straighten the legs. Wiggle your feet in, have a little bit of hard marching. Ease yourself down to the mat to cat, have a little cat move about. Super. And then come to sit with your legs out long. I'm going to go sideways so you can see a little bit more easily. So have a hug up with your right knee and step the foot to the other side of your left leg. So we're going to lean back a little bit, turn your body to the right so you can wrap your left arm around your right leg. So this is the view from one angle. I spin around, you can see the view the other way. So I've stepped my leg over, wrapping my arm around. Your right hand goes to the base of your spine onto the floor somewhere. You can use this hand to sit tall. Think about the weight being in both your glute muscles, sit tall. And then use your out breath to have a little turn. Keep your chin level with your chest bone and think with an out breath it's the tummy button turning. And then pause. And then your next out breath, think chest is going to turn. And pause. Next out breath, shoulders are going to turn. And pause. And your next out breath, turn your head if you want to look over your right shoulder. Fantastic. Turn your head back to centre and look down to your left toes. Unravel, keep your leg where it is. I'm just going to spin around. So keep your leg where it is and then bring your right arm to the inside edge of your right leg, left hand behind you, sit tall and have a little bit of a twist the other way. It feels easier because you're turning into this space without turning against the leg. A little bit of turn. Check that you're evenly weighted on your bottom, that the hand behind you sits you tall, you're not leaning back or leaning to one side. Super. Ease yourself back to centre. We're going to unravel the legs and swap over. So left leg, squeeze that knee up, step the foot over. The left foot, it sits on the floor, that side of your leg, anywhere where it feels comfy. It doesn't matter where it goes to. If it's not comfy here, have it this side. It really doesn't matter. You sit back just a little bit to turn slightly. Right arm wraps around your left leg. Your left hand behind you at the base of your spine, sitting tall. Use the hand behind you to sit tall. Have a lovely big in-breath. With an out-breath, turn your tummy button to the left. Breathe in, out-breath, chest. Breathe in, out-breath, shoulders. Breathe in and out-breath, the chin turns a little bit. And you look towards your left shoulder. Turn your head to look towards your right toes and then ease your body back and turn the other way. So left arm to the inside edge of the left leg, right arm behind you onto the mat, sit tall and have a little bit of an open twist. Much, much easier this side, so enjoy that sort of counter twist. Brilliant, and ease yourself gently back. Legs are out long, bring the soles of your feet together. Have a long diamond shape, so don't bring the feet hugged in close to you, keep them quite a distance from you. Take your hands behind you and sit tall, a little bit backwards. And then walk your hands in, keep that length in your back as you lean forwards and think about lifting and lowering the abdomen forwards, then lifting and lowering the chest, lifting and lowering the shoulders, and ease forwards to somewhere that feels super comfy to have a little bit of a flop. Be careful with lower backs if you're looking after lower backs. This kind of forward bending is that bit potentially where it undoes some of the strength work and has a little bit of a dis-ease into the lower back. So maybe you keep your chest and your gaze a little bit higher and your back much straighter. And then ease yourself up. I think it's quite nice always to take the hands behind you and have a gentle lift of the chest. Tiny little back bend counter pose to a bigger forward bend. And then lift the knees, slide the legs long, give everything a wiggle. Socks on, jumpers on. You might put your legs up a wall, you might put your legs on a chair, on a sofa, on a bed. Anywhere at all that feels fine, you can have your legs long down the mat and straight. You might have a cushion under the back of your head, a pillow, a blanket over the top of you. Finding a comfy place to be. You might turn the lights off over the top of you, ceiling light. You might put a scarf over your eyes. You might put a yoga strap just resting on your eyes.
There's always a bit of a joke in the world of yoga that actually you can make something out of socks. So if you put one sock inside another sock, so you've got a bit of a heavy little pad of socks, it becomes an eye pillow. Okay, you don't need to buy eye pillows. You can, absolutely, but a pair of socks turned one inside the other, it's just enough weight on your eyelids so that your eyes stay effortlessly closed. Oh, have a big sighing out breath. Find that comfy place to be, wherever it is for you. And notice your lower back. If your lower back is feeling anything less than comfy, lift yourself up onto your forearms. So you're leaning back, but you're on your forearms. If you don't quite know what I mean, and you're here. And then tuck your pelvis under, like you're trying to stick your little tail between your legs. Your lower back flattens to the floor a bit, and then lie down. It's going to put length into your lower back. Your legs could be up on a chair, up the wall, resting on a bolster. You can make a bolster out of cushions, pillows, anything at all. Fantastic. Making sure you have a couple of sigh and out breaths when you get into your comfy position. Sometimes it feels quite nice to allow the head to be ever so slightly angled so that your chin is a little bit lower than your forehead. It's not a big angling, just a little bit. Back of the neck slightly longer. With your eyes closed, turn your eyes in their sockets as if you were looking down towards your feet. This takes our focus inwards. Bring your awareness to your breath. Take the breath to the very bottom of your lungs. As you breathe in, without over-exaggerating at all the breath, we're wanting a lovely, soft, easy breathing, but noticing that you take the breath to the bottom, then the middle, then the top of your lungs, and as you breathe out, emptying from the bottom, then the middle, then the top. Holding your focus with your breath. When you find your focus is elsewhere, bring it back to your breath. Being in your Shavasana just for a little while until you hear the sound of my voice again. Allowing your focus to be with your physical body. Noticing yourself. Wherever it is that you're resting, notice the shape that you're making, the support that you have underneath you. Gently easing yourself back, bring a little bit of energy back to your body, wiggling fingers and toes. Know that it's absolutely fine to stay where you are if you want to stay there a bit longer. As you ease back, maybe you have a stretch, a yawn, maybe you hug your knees to your chest. Maybe you roll to one side for a little while. When you head back to your comfy sitting position, if you're close enough to the screen and you want to unmute yourself, then do. So there'll be that little bit of noise as everybody enters back into the room. Bringing your hands to Anjali Mudra. Lovely to see you all. Thank you for coming. Namaste.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you.
Thanks, Robin.
You're welcome. Lovely to see you all.
Thank you, Robin.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.